Hi everyone, it's Shari here with a really fun, cute card using the new Pure Sunshine Simon Says stamp release. The stamp set that I'm working with is called Scribble Flowers, and it's a set that has a lot of solid type shapes and then also scribbly outlines, and also a matching die set with stems and leaves and everything included. I'm doing a really simple watercolor technique, and that is using the Distress inks, and this is from the Tim Holtz Distress Cubes #1. And this one is Spiced Marmalade. I'm just going to go ahead and tap this onto the solid type stamp. Once I have that covered, I'm going to get out my mini mister and give this a couple sprays of water. Sorry, it's off screen, but you can kind of see how that ink is starting to pool around, and that becomes just about perfect to stamp on. I'm stamping onto the Tim Holtz watercolor paper, and I'm using the smooth side. It's my preferred side for this paper, and I love this paper also because it's really, really true white. So I set the stamp down, and I'm going to let this set into the paper for a bit, and I'm just going to tap around just lightly onto the stamp. I don't want to push too hard, and I can go ahead and lift that off. And while that ink is still wet, I can move this around, and once I'm happy with that, I can either air dry it or heat set it with my heat tool. Next, I am stamping the center flower, and I have a smaller solid area, and I'm using the picked raspberry pink, and I'm just going to go ahead and tap that on. And again, like the orange circle that I did, I'm going to grab my mini mister. I'm grabbing a paper towel so that I don't overspray. So I'll just give that a really quick spritz of water. I'm going to do another one. And I'm stamping onto a scrap piece of watercolor paper. Again on the smooth side, and just touching that to the paper. And it's going to create a little bit of suction. You'll see that I have to kind of pry my paper up from underneath. So I'll just kind of reach under with my finger and release that. Next, I'll be stamping the black rings around those colorful circles, and I'm using archival black ink, and this is my preferred ink for when I'm using watercolors and such. It's really nice and permanent. So I'll go ahead and tap this onto the corresponding circle that goes onto that nice bold circle. And I'll place this down, and I'm going to offset it just slightly so it has a little more whimsical look. And I'll go ahead and press that down. I'll go ahead and show you up close what I mean. So it's just a little bit off. And I should mention that I let my circles dry before I stamp the rings on top. I've jumped a little forward here. I have the stem that I'm going to place at the base of my flower. Also, if you notice my little pink dot, I've used the die and cut that out. And so I've just inked up my stem here with my black archival ink. I'm cleaning off my block so I can place another stamp here, and this is my stabilizer, as I call it, so that my stamp pad or my acrylic block won't rock too much when I'm using a really thin image like this. So now it becomes a really nice flat surface to stamp on. And this gives me a nice crisp image, and I'll go ahead and pop that up, and you can see the really nice fine lines. I've stamped one of the leaves outline, and now I'm using Mowed Lawn by Tim Holtz, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up my center part for the stamp. And again, I'm going to spray this with my mini mister, and that is really off screen so you can't see it at all, but I'm really doing it right there. Okay, so now I'm ready, and I'll go ahead and just line that up, and again I'm going to be just a bit off so it has that whimsical look again. And for this one, I'm going to blot this up just slightly with a paper towel, and this just kind of pulls that color off just a teeny little bit, and it gives it a nice smooth appearance. To color my stem, I have the Mowed Lawn marker, distress marker, also from Tim Holtz, and I'll just go ahead and draw right onto the black ink. I could use a water brush to get a watercolor look, but I think it looks nice just with the solid color. This stamp set includes a few fun things, like this is a hashtag that I'm using, and I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with my black archival ink, and I'll stamp it into the flower center. I have stamped an additional flower using the peacock feathers, and used the two little circles with the die cut to set in the center. I've created a scallop edge on a scrap piece of watercolor paper, where I've alternated my colors and also stamped with the rings on top in black. Then I trimmed that out using my scissors and added it to my card. To finish things up, I stamped I Like You in black ink, and a lot white embossed onto black paper. So that's my card for the Simon Says Stamp Pure Sunshine release. Thanks for watching.